the whole thing. Love someone, take your time and get it done. 'Cause we are moving faster, we are thinking faster, we are working faster.
A little bit like Suzanne Vega when she's not trying to, she just slips into that.
Which is a wonderful. I think that's a huge compliment.
Me
She's
too,
such an
totally.
amazing, unique
Yeah, oh, yeah.
voice.
It's
Yeah.
the first time we've heard Chris Isaac, I think.
Yeah, that's a new one.
I heard the Chris
I love
Isaac
him.
sound on Don't Have to Talk About It. I really felt like
I can
that
hear
was
that.
such a deep, like, so the songs that I'm mentioning today, you guys can go and listen if you go to their website, which is weareabout9.com. Sean will flash it in a second. But that song is on Paper Dust Stardust, which is your album from 2008,
Yes.
right? And it's a great song. Katie sings the lead on it.
And
Don't-
it has a, what do we call that guitar? The surfer guitar sound?
It does kind of, which is where the Chris Isaac thing
I think
comes
that's
from,
where I got
yeah.
sort of like that moody feel. Yeah, Chris Isaac. Do you guys know the Roches? The trio,
Yeah,
the
we got
three?
to open for them
Yeah,
one
we
time.
did that once.
They're amazing, and I was listening to how tight you guys. And I'm giving you guys these comparisons because that's what we all require these days. Is like, well, it sounds like. Of course, they're creating a unique sound wholly of their own. And one of the things I wanted to mention was, well, you didn't actually tell me what your influences were. I totally.
They're all over the place because there's three of us, and they
Yeah.
start all the way back from when we were kids. And I was listening to the Beatles. I listened to Roy Orbison with my dad in the car.
Definitely, yeah.
And I love melodies. I love 50s and 60s pop stuff.
Have you guys ever heard the Four Freshmen?
Yes.
I don't know.
And I spent high school with my tape 4-track deconstructing Beach Boys harmonies, and so I went to the Four Freshmen, which was,
Brian Wilson's huge influence.
Yes.
Yeah.
so that's not news to me.
One of our
But
earlier
yeah.
comparisons from Vance Gilbert was the Four Tops, right?
Before
And the Kingston Trio.
Well, he was trying to do that same thing where he gives
the Four Tops, yeah.
three very, very different things and he smashed them up and he said that's what
And
they
the
sound.
Story was the last one.
Oh,
Like
the
Jonathan
story,
Brooke.
Jonathan Brooke. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I get that comparison to Bare Naked Ladies a lot. I know this. That you know David Glazer. Some of you know David Glazer.
Yeah.
He when he wants to can sound just like that guy from the Bare Naked Ladies with the big voluptuous voice. And I get compared a lot of times to the guy with the kind of drab, boring voice from Bare Naked Ladies. So someday we're going to start a little cover band of the Bare Naked Ladies, David Glazer and I, and it's going to be awesome.
The fully dressed ladies.
A real influence for me when I was a little kid. When I was born in 1976, an album came out that year from a guy named Barry Louis Polisar.
Okay.
He's a children's songwriter, and it's all of these songs that you aren't sure whether you should play for your kids or not.
Yeah.
And then they listen to them and they become better people.
But I feel like when I listen to you guys' writing, that's the same thing because it's almost like a trick, and I love the trick because I don't feel like it's a joke trick. I feel like you guys draw us in with your beautiful harmony and voices and the melodic lines of the guitars and the bass and everything working together. But then when you actually listen to the words, you end up with words like concatenate. Concatenate?
Concatenate.
Yes.
And ionosphere. Okay, so I was listening to this music and I was just like, how many words am I going to have to look up
Well, I think that
to
I slip-
understand your lyrics? Which is great. I love it. It's a
I
challenge.
slip words into songs to remember them.
Nice.
Okay.
Numinous.
So what does concatenate mean?
Concatenate is a word that I knew originally from working with Excel, from working with
That's what Pat and I
Microsoft
were
Excel.
talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
And I snuck away at the office one day and started to write that song. And it literally, and I tell this story, and it probably sounds fake, but I had this experience where I had concatenated things. That's linking together. So maybe you have a column, you have two columns of data, and you want to join the two columns into one column. Let's say you have your first name and your last name in two different columns, Brian and Gunderstorff.
Okay, so
and
you're
you want
linking
to,
them so you can sort it.
yeah,
Got
well,
it.
you want a column that says Brian Gunderstorff, right? So I did that on a whole page.
It's
and
a
then
4-syllable word for combine.
yeah, exactly. And then I deleted the first two columns, and then I brought it to my boss, and he said, "Yeah, but I also need those original two columns." And I had the challenge of I don't know how to disconcatenate this now, and that is
Now
where
you have
the
to
song
fit
came
that
from.
word into a song.
Right.
Disconcatenate. So when it's a breakup song, right? Disconcatenate.
Right, exactly.
But I feel like I've written a song inspired by Microsoft Windows, and now you guys have a link to
Ah.
Microsoft Windows. Bill Gates,
Bill,
Melinda French, you went to
Yeah.
Ursuline Academy. We need money for musicians. Okay, I have a few other questions. I mean this as a huge compliment, but when I listen to your music, I'm remembering the things that I loved about 90s songwriter music. That's one of my favorite things. And that's not to say that it's dated, because it's not dated. It's still very modern. You have a modern sound. But you are reaching back into a rich folk tradition from the 60s and 70s, pulling it through our influences, because we're about the same age. You guys are a little bit younger. But the 90s, of grunge and singer-songwriter and coffee house kind of music, which was sort of a revivalism of that 60s time. I hear all of that with you guys. But
Thank you.
I want to get a little bit into the process of how you guys write together. Who writes the lyrics? Does melody come first? Do lyrics come first? How does that come together?
Over 90% of the time, I show up with a guitar part and lyrics and a melody,
Yeah.
and then we start arranging from there.
Okay.
And then the exceptions are a lot of fun for me, but generally that's where it happens.
Okay, so Brian's the primary songwriter, and then you guys get together after that, and who's coming up with you guys have really complex harmonic movement, and it's incredible.
Well, yeah, a lot of the time, because Brian and Katie do a lot of the early work on stuff together, a lot of the time I'm sort of shaping a lot of what's already finished, filling in gaps.
I was going to say that has happened more often recently.
Yeah, that wasn't the
With
way
the
it started. Right?
Latest record that we're working on now, Brian and I worked on a lot of the harmonies first, and then asked Pat to come in, which is why sometimes he adds a higher part, which makes it really interesting if I'm doing a lower part and he's adding the top part, and then if it doesn't work, Pat will switch it around and say, why don't you try this part and go up to the top. And but a lot of our earlier material, Pat was responsible for directing the layers, and we had a sense of harmony coming together.
Yes.
That made us unique.
There was an intuitive thing that was going on at the beginning, and Brian and I have both had to do voice leading training, writing in a classical context at various times, learning how to construct chords and what kinds of notes can texture chords in different ways, can add tension or release tension, and that's all.
I guess
sort of
that's
tied
the
in
thing
with
that I
what's
like the
going on
most about it
lyrically.
is that I feel like you guys there is a tension there that you're pulling. Okay,
So whatever way we end up coming up with the harmony, I think we're all kind of looking for that. We're all kind of going after that interesting, unique tension release type
That's
of.
it's large format harmony.
It's large format harmony, and that is part of the writing process now too, right? I didn't always write the kind of songs that I do now. Now, when I'm writing a song, you know, I get to the bridge especially, and I think, how are we gonna make this expansive? Because I know, especially Pat can make this into a gigantic climax, and if we get that, I know it's a song. No matter what I screw up in the lyrics, no matter what I screw up in the melody, I know we're gonna have a song if it builds to this gigantic climax.
Well, you guys have been working together for 13 years now.
14 now, I think.
2000. It started in 1999.
1999.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me about the name, because I read on your bio that it came up last minute at an open mic.
It did.
Yeah.
And it actually was We're About 12 before it was We're About 9.
Was it?
I remember that.
I don't remember that,
I
but
came running over us and we were like, we gotta put our name down on the sheet for the open mic, and how about We're About 12? Oh no, that's too long or something, or that's not catchy enough, and someone said 9, and it fit.
yeah, I lost my specific memory of the time when we did that, but we were all sort of doing either solo performing or performing in other small group contexts, and then just sitting in on each other's stuff, both at open mics and at just like little solo coffee house things, and it became time to say we're going to try to call this something, except we didn't think about it in advance.
I think that's the way it happens with a lot of band names. That's how it
And now we're
happens.
stuck with it.
I
That's
do
good,
remember.
but I think it's really catchy, and it's like, you
It's
know.
a play on our maturity.
They say you're
level.
supposed to put numbers in songs to make them more memorable, and
There
I
you
don't know
go.
why it shouldn't work in a band name.
I agree.
But if I had known we were going to be around this long, I'd probably would have given it more than a couple minutes of thought.
No, I think it works for you because I think it speaks to your whimsical, not childish, but childlike approach to things, which is it's sort of I love it. It's an innocence. I definitely am not able to capture that with what I'm doing. I'm doing something different, which is okay, but I love the fact that there's an innocence and an honesty and an earnestness in your songwriting and performing. That's what is one of the most appealing things about it. So I want to make sure we get to the music really fast. I want to make 2 more comments. You guys use the word cuddle a lot in your songwriting. Yeah, there's at least
Really?
one song.
There's one song where we do
Well,
use
One.
cuddle
Okay.
repeatedly. Repeatedly?
Repeatedly. That's a new word. Where
Repeatedly is when you repeat
When
the
you
word
repeat it
cuddle
like cuddle.
over and over again in a song.
I'm trying to figure out which song it was.
It's called The Miscreant Men. And
And
Yes.
for one more, and for one more,
Both?
has it too, right? One, no.
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 I just felt like the word cuddle was
Oh.
in there a lot, which was
Yeah.
really sweet. So you can cuddle with We're About 9.
Raven over the harbor, maven of the breeze,
tired of my earthly bindings. It's a long day, earning a lifetime of dimes. The coffee is fine, the breakfast is fine. I took the wrong way, heading into work this time. Route 95, the sun in my eyes. The next thing that I know, I'm with Shenandoah at mile 105 of Skyline Drive. I remember why I had to be at work on time in the prime of my life. I'm a hurricane. You should see me some my time and bring it all to life and put it on the line. So if I go away, I know what I'll leave behind. The coffee is fine, the breakfast is fine. The next thing that I know, my hands have gotten old at mile 105 of Skyline Drive. I remember why I had to be at work on time in the prime of my life. In the prime of my life. So we'll do another song that's going to be on our brand new CD. Those two songs are going to be on our brand new CD, and woo!
Mine is cell phone. If
We've
you
been-
heard that, who knows? Maybe
Who
they
knows?
didn't even hear that.
Well, we are actually one of the things that we're doing. So we're throwing a Kickstarter campaign right now to raise money to make the CD, and one of the levels in our Kickstarter fundraiser is to get We're About 9 ringtones. So we may do one with just that sound. That would be awesome.
That would be great.
This is another one of the songs that'll be on the album. To learn about the Kickstarter, you can go to www.we'reabout9.com. You can put us on your phone and sell it, play us for your mom. WEREAB. Okay, we'll do the theme song some other time. And this is
It kind of requires rehearsal.
this is hi Jason Seymour.
Yay.
All right, here's a song called "The Hardest Thing to Prove." I've played the game now. I've flown a glow-in-the-dark kite on a moonless, windy night. I saw stars, Baltimore's blocked out with its red polluted lights. I've eaten dried and packaged foods from the rest stops on the right. I've watched Boston leave my sight. I've taken 95, 93, 90, 91, and 9. Why do I
so caught up in the search for something new. When something's never happened, it's the hardest thing to prove. And that same age-old conclusion is the only one I ain't true. When I die, I hope there's something left to do. Suburbia is the cradle of my life. My parents taught me right. Still I picked up the guitar and rock and rolled all night. But I've seen hillsides of people holding lights and signaling I'm right, and that everything I did, I had some reason why. But why do I get so caught up in the search for something new? When something's never happened, it's the hardest thing to prove. And that same age-old conclusion is the only one I drew. When I die, I hope there's something left to do. When I die, I hope there's cello playing, kids obeying every saying Jesus ever gave while he was young and misbehaved. If there's crying, if there's praying, I hope it's just that cellist making music shake their stomachs just by doing what she's practiced every day. I played the game now. I don't know what's coming next. It may not be that complex. It might be my final chance to truly get some rest. It's an enigmatic friend. It's a puzzle to be solved. It's a quart of alcohol with an answer at the bottom I'm too sober to recall. Maybe all the things I've made up and the things I know are true, and the things I think I might know but that I could never prove. Every atom that I'm made of is gonna stay here when I'm through. And they'll yell checkmate, cause they can't see my next move. But when something's never happened, why do I get so caught up in the search for something new? When something's never happened, it's the hardest thing to prove. And that same age-old conclusion is the only one I drew. When I die, I hope there's something left to do. When something's never happened, it's the hardest thing to prove.
You guys want to do our beverage song?
Okay. I
Yeah.
about Frozen too.
Huh? Hi, Gene.
Or
Out of there.
Tabula Rasa. Really? That's my high school band. Hi, guys.
sweet.
That's pretty awesome. All right, we got a beverage song for
Tasty
you.
summertime beverage.
My entire time doing this, every time I sit down to write a song, I have one goal in mind. It's that I want to put together a song that encompasses a recipe for something. And I sat down the first time to try and do it, and I ended up with a breakup song. And I sat down the next time to try and do it, and I ended up with a song narrated from the perspective of the reincarnated soul of a $5 an hour parking spot. And then I sat down the third time to do it, and the fourth, and it really never worked out until finally, just this past year, I finally wrote down a song encompassing a recipe.
Ingredients. I don't know about a recipe.
It's a recipe.
I
It's
think,
front to back a recipe.
Well,
It totally is.
I think it's up for
For
interpretation.
happiness.
It's boeuf en croûte, and the song is 79 minutes long.
We have a disagreement about this.
Say that word again.
Boeuf en croûte.
Boeuf en croûte. All right, this is our song, Boeuf en croûte. Got it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Ooh, every lemon that you throw my way. Ooh, I've been making lemonade. Ooh, every lemon that you throw my way. Ooh. I've been making lemonade. Water, water everywhere, running through my home into my hair. Water bottle in the fridge, water flowing into it. Water all over our blue pearl, you can see it from other worlds, getting dirtier and hotter. I'm not worried about water. Lemonade, lemonade, you know what the people say. Every lemon that you throw my way, I've been making lemonade.
Sugar in my cabinet, I can't remember not having it. By the time this year is done, we'll make 1.7 trillion tons.
Sugar's corrosive to my teeth, a strain on my anatomy. It costs almost nothing more. I'm not worried about sugar. Lemonade, lemonade, you know what the people say. Every lemon that you throw my way, I've been making lemonade. Falling on the ground, would you look at what I found? My career and my love, every flaw I made the best of. The moral of my history, never let it get the best of me. When they pour down from the heavens, I'm not worried about lemons. Lemonade, lemonade, you know what the people say. Every lemon that you throw my way, I've been making lemonade. Now I have gallons, I have vats. There's a swimming pool out back. You can dive and swim and wade in all of the sweet stuff we made. Ooh, every lemon that you throw my way. Ooh, I've been making lemonade. Every lemon that you throw my way. Ooh, I've been making lemonade.
Got it? Everybody knows how to make lemonade now, right?
And that's it. That's our plan. That's our plan for songed elegance. Should there be more songed elegance, or should we just like leave them happy? Leave them.
Oh no, we should totally play a bad one now.
What do we know? What do we know that's a bad
Oh,
one?
Frozen. I don't know if you've changed tunings for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's perfect.
Okay, let me take this off. And I also wanted to say, I know there's a lot of people watching right now that have generously donated to our Kickstarter, so thank you so much.
Seriously, thank you
We're
all
so
very, very,
happy
very, very
about
much.
it, and we really couldn't do it without you, and I think that it's kind of like that fuel that keeps the car going because, you know, it's nice to have support.
It's definitely
It's like,
different.
makes it feel really
It's
good.
different in the studio since that started happening. Like we get in there and we just have a different sense of our creative adventure and feel more free to do it exactly the way that we should be doing it, and the results are
It's
awesome.
true. And I also want to point out that there is another donor level that is actually not unlike this experience right here. There's there's the opportunity for us to do
A party.
a party
Over the
playing
interwebs.
songs for whoever wants to watch in
And
their, in
drinking
their
scotch
house like
at the
this.
same time,
Yeah.
maybe. You know?
Who knows?
Yep. And you can learn more about it at www.wereabout9.com. Apparently not. Apparently not. We should. And I just really want to give a big thank you to Ellen Cherry for hosting us here
Thank you,
today.
Ellen Cherry.
Thank you so much. I think this will be our last one, if that's cool. We'll end on a mellow note. It's going to be kind of mellow. And also Sean,
To Sean
just
for killing it on the sound.
making
today.
it
Thank you.
sound yummy.
And the camera.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I think I know this.
There's a man with a gun in his hand on a hill in the snow, a 30-year-old Alaskan. How did he get there? You may ask yourself. I ask that question again and again. He just stands there in his overalls. Why does he look so content? Is it faith in his aim? Were the timing and game chosen from his side of the frame? Do I look the same? Frozen. There's a man with a pen in his hand on a stool in an apartment in Maryland. How did he get there? You may ask yourself. I ask that question again and again. To my carnivorous plant, the ash photo stand, second home of a 30-year-old Alaskan. Is it faith in his aim? Were the timing and game chosen from his side of the frame? Do I look the same? Frozen.
Thank you guys
Thanks,
so
everybody.
much. Yeah.
Oh, look, it's Ellen Cherry.
I would like to thank We're About Nine. Let's give them all a round of applause.
You
Yay.
too.
Thank you.
Great interviewing skills.
Thank you. To remind you, 9/28/13, Mobtown Moon. I'm not sure if I'm holding this close enough to. There you go. There's a poster. So, unfortunately, Brian and Katie have other plans. They will not be there, but Patrick Klink will be on stage with us. But you can hear Brian, Katie, and Pat on the recording. And they did
tracks.
an amazing job. It was incredible. So I hope you hear that. Also, when is your new album going to be ready?
November, we're hoping.
November.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
We were
It's
looking
called-
at the calendar of dates that we had worked on so far for this record, and we started in September of last year.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Hey, by the way, we want to thank Sean Wilson, who runs all the sound and does all the tech stuff himself. It's incredible. Thank you, Sean. Yay.
And that was actually a well-timed moment there, because that
Yeah.
is, as you're talking about our new album, that is the title track that you just heard a second and a half of. The whole album is as good as that second and a half.
It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. They're recording with Scott Smith at the Wood and Stone Room, and it'll be available in November, so keep your eyes on weareabout9.com, and we're going to take you out with Future Pilot.
The
So,
whole thing.
Yes, the whole thing. Enjoy.
Premiere, listen,
World
enjoy.
Oh,
Enjoy.
we'll see you on September 22nd, back here, Ellen Cherry TV, for
Yes.
a Mobtown Moon surprise.
Ooh, love surprises.
Bye!